Hello, everyone. Welcome to Eat Coffee with Experts. I'm your host, Matt Fraser. And on today's show, I have with me Abel Osorio. Now, Abel is the CEO and founder of Wedevelop, a nearshore staff augmentation agency headquartered in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He is self-taught, though he studied engineering and was always curious about new technologies. Since 2019, the US-based part of the company has been delivering exceptional staff augmentation services. The team is a diverse group of people from around the globe, with the majority of the engineers and designers coming from Argentina, Uruguay, Peru, Colombia, and other Central and South American countries. Abel, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Matt.
Yeah, no problem. So, hey, what is your story of how you became a software developer? I know you're self-taught, but maybe you share a little bit with us.
Yeah, sure. So I went to a technical school, and as a teenager, I was very interested into, or very into technology in general. It was, 2005, 2006. So we didn't have a lot of computers around here, but I liked them. Then with my first job, I was, in the need of using software, but we didn't have that piece of software. So I had to create it, and then I had to learn how to create it, and then boom, I became a software developer.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to create it?
So it was a 2-year project. It developed very quickly into a large project. I was part, but yeah, it was a big project, a big first introduction to, this new world for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the motivation behind creating it in-house, as opposed to like finding a development company to do it, what was the motivation behind that?
Right. So it was a very unique piece of software that we needed, and we needed really fast. So I worked for a company that needed to change its software. I mean, its bottleneck was the software. So we needed to change it very fast, and we didn't have like an in-house solution. Like a external solution that worked for us. So we started to create our own solution. And so I learned not only to develop software, but to do it in a very fast way. So
how did you learn? There's, it's amazing nowadays how many websites there are out there. Like, I think Code Academy, and there's specific websites that are dedicated to learning to code. And like, you don't even have to go to school anymore, as far as I'm concerned, to learn how to code. Probably much of what you learn in school, if you do go that route, might be outdated. I don't know. I could be speaking on my butt, because some people go for university for machine learning and data science and all those things. But for the majority, like, you can learn, correct me if I'm wrong, you can learn how to code online. And what resources did you use in order to do that?
Right. So yes, you can learn from many different sources. But I believe that you don't learn the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it depends on your ability to learn, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
So in my case, I was very lucky to work with a university teacher. He was a very, very smart person. And he taught me mostly everything I had to learn. So it was like I went to university, but not to the building,
Okay. So you had a university professor mentor who mentored you.
Yeah.
Well, that you couldn't ask for anything better than that.
I was very lucky. Yeah. And
how did that relationship come about?
So he was an advisor for the company I was working with. We started to work together. And basically, he would come to my home, code with me, and in the meantime, explaining to me some different concepts and theory. I was, again, very lucky to have that opportunity.
Yeah, I have a friend like that who his family company had a professor, computer networking, and all those things. He was a professor at a university who did the same thing, same situation. He mentored him to do all the networking, and problems would come up in the business, and he would guide him, but not exactly tell him exactly how to do it. Like he would give him hints to figure it out. You know what I mean? To like point him in the right direction and offer. Yeah. It's amazing how I think essential it is to have a mentor in life, like in various different ways. I mean, even going back to, I don't know how many years ago, but you used to apprentice with someone, you learn to be a carpenter or a blacksmith, and you would go and you would work with them, and you would work hand in hand and follow. And, sometimes you have to do the dirty jobs that you need to learn how to do, that maybe entry level work that nobody wants to do, but nevertheless, it's the foundation of the stuff. And I still think that even in today's world, that's the best thing to have. Like we go to school and it's a one-to-many relationship.
Yeah.
And I think we're missing that one-to-one, and I don't know how to do that, how to affect that change in that regard. I think online platforms are really good in some sense, though, especially the ones that offer, like, you can go through the training, but then you can also get that one-to-one feedback from a coach.
Right.
In that regard, I think that's a really good thing to do.
But I think, the mentor-mentee relationship is very personal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't think you can get that very easily from some online platform.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
I don't know, but I truly believe that it's one of the best ways to learn. Actually, I had, that great opportunity back then, but then as I grew up professionally, I was, just looking for other people to learn from. Because experience is very, very important. Or the way you learn is very important. And I think once you learn to learn, you use that method, for the rest of your life. So I learn from people, and I always do that. I always do that.
Abel, isn't it interesting that a lot of young people today, I find, think that education ends when you graduate from high school or university or whatever. But if that's your philosophy, I think you're going to stop growing. And there's been things that have been directly tied to the amount of knowledge that you have compared to the amount of income that you can make. And especially in today's economy, we are in a knowledge economy. And, I've heard it said that leaders learn, and ripe things grow, and green things grow, and ripe things rot. So if you're going to take a philosophy that everything, you're going to rot. But if you're always going to try and remain green, and there's always things to learn about your specific field or industry, it sounds to me like you've taken that approach.
Yeah, I think it's the way people see the world, and education in particular. People think that other people will teach you, will open your mind, put some content into it, and close it again. You are free to go. You're free to go. I don't think education should work in that way. It's something you should do for yourself. And when you see it that way, you go to school to learn from, the environment, the teachers, the content. And once you end school, you continue to learn, because you didn't go to school to, just be reacted to whatever what's happening at the school. You want to consume content, relate with people that know different or know better. But it's something that you do. So I do agree that you should do that for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you would not complete your mission in the world.
Exactly. Totally.
It's very profound.
It's like,
learning.
Yeah. I mean, people think that, so I graduate from, let's say I graduate from culinary school and now I'm a chef. Well, you have a certificate, but like there are so many things to learn about food and cooking. You're going to spend the rest of your life doing that. Coding. There's so many code changes all the time. Like there's so many adaptations and new things and things to learn and try and test and whether it's coding or whether it's web design or whether it's digital marketing. I mean, if you're not learning consistently about digital marketing and what's happening in the space, even in the skill set, the sub skill set that you need to choose to focus on to become an expert, you're going to be lost. So that's cool. So you learned how to code from a university professor while you were in a position at a company that needed a solution that you developed in-house. And then it grew from there. And so did you just decide to just start focusing 100% on software development, or did they notice that you had this knack, or how did that continue to develop beyond that one situation?
Right. Yeah. So I started to like it. To be honest, it wasn't like a passion for me back then. Mm-hmm. I liked it. I found it very interesting and a tool to create things, but I didn't actually love it. But I started to like it, and see that there were many other tools, technologies I could use and learn. So I started to fully dedicate my time to learn and develop my skills. So I was in that job for maybe 6 years more. And then I started my own freelance career as software developer. When freelancing was not a thing, when remote work was not a thing, I was doing remote work, at home with a very bad internet connection.
Oh, wow. So you left your job. Correct me. Is that what you're saying? You left your job and started to just freelance. Wow. Was that scary?
It is. I had a bike, a motorbike. I sold it, and I used those savings to,
live off of,
survive.
Yeah. Wow.
While I was looking for freelance work.
Wow, that's amazing. And how long ago was that? How many years ago?
Not too long ago. Maybe 2016.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Still, that's 6 years ago. That's 6, 7 years ago. That's significant. And did you find work on freelancer.com or elance.com or upwork.com, sites like that?
I did, yes. So I used a different freelance platforms, but that wasn't the thing I liked. These, I don't know, random projects, small projects. I wanted to engage with something more than a task or an assignation. I wanted to engage with a company, with its vision, and create something more than just, a piece of code. Okay,
cool. So you were looking to be a bit part of something bigger.
Yeah. So I engaged with one of the clients I was working with as a freelancer. They hired me as a contractor, and then we started a bigger relationship.
Oh, cool. That's kind of like me. I would rather, how do I say this? Rather than having 50 different mortgage brokers as clients, I'd rather have one and actually own part of the company and help that mortgage company to grow across the continent rather than being everybody's mortgage broker guy. I'd rather be the mortgage broker marketer, the chief marketing officer of a mortgage brokerage company to help that company grow and expand rather than having 50 different clients because sometimes they're in competing markets with one another. You're you want me do marketing for you over here. And it's kind of hard to compartmentalize those things, in my opinion. But anyway, so I understand what you're saying is the point I'm trying to make of wanting to be a part of something bigger and more involved in it, in that regard. So,
yeah.
So what was the next step that led you in your career in that regards to all of a sudden you're taking on bigger projects? And what got you to where you are today in regards to, owning Wedevelop?
Right. So, So basically, I started to create bigger things or more complex things. I started with software, but then I started to build teams, and started to have this notion of team culture and things like that. So I had to do all of that with someone telling me how to do it. And I didn't like it. I wanted to create my own, company. I had a very, culture. I have a very particular way to work, which is very informally and friendly, I guess. So I wanted to create a company that lived for those values. So we started Wedevelop. We were very lucky to start with the project, so we didn't need any funding or bootstrapping. We started with a very big contract, and we were very lucky. And the company grew very fast.
Did you eventually partner with someone?
I do have 2 other partners. We are 3 partners.
Oh, okay. Right
and
on.
I was very lucky once again in my life to meet people with a lot of experience. So I learned from them, on a daily basis.
Wow. And I guess you just saw how you guys complemented one another and then formed the company to be able to provide the market with value.
We complement each other. Yeah, we do complement each other in a big way. One of my partners, he has a very extensive career on management and entrepreneurship. He's a very active person, and he knows a lot of things, finances, very many things. And the other guy, he comes from the biochemic, I guess, industry, laboratories and things like that. Not very technological or software guy, but yes, technological, and has a lot of commercial experience. So, and then I am the IT guy, the software guy, and we complement each other.
That's awesome.
Very well.
That's because a business is really a 3-legged stool, in my opinion. There's sales and marketing, operations, and management. I would say sales, marketing, and operations are the three legs. And you need people who are good at all of those things. Like some people who are good at marketing aren't good at sales. I mean, it's typically not the case. Some people are gifted at both, but that's rare. And you can't do it all. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like even for other agency owners out there, like there's lots of people that just try and do it all, and you can't have all those skills if you're going to build something that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah, you do need those skills, but you can always hire people to do that. I think the difference with partners is like they are your partners, and they are your partners. It's like when you get married. You get a partner for the good moments and for the bad moments.
Oh, for sure.
And that's a very supportive relationship, and that's very useful.
Should be.
And it should be. Yeah,
some people it's not. But some people marry the wrong person. But it should be. Let's just say that.
Absolutely, yeah. But when you partner up with someone that's supportive, that's that likes you and complements with you, it's great. It's it's a really good feeling that it gives you more security, more confidence. So when you we faced together the COVID pandemic, and we had many different troubles, many different issues, as many companies had, but we didn't, we went to that pandemic, that situation together. Yeah. And as a very strong team.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it is.
What are some of the challenges of having partners? If you wouldn't mind sharing, you don't have to, but I'm just, there's this saying that says that partnerships are the only boats that don't float. So,
right.
I know people who their partnerships are just awesome. They work. And there's other people who would never have partners ever. They're like, I am the boss and I'll bring on executive managers, but never any other partners. So, how do you navigate that with partners? Like, do you just people stay in their own lanes and you decide beforehand?
So I believe that every company has to have a very formal way, a very formal method for decision making, decision making processes, and that should be very clear to everyone. Because we are very complex machines. We humans, we are very complex.
We are.
And we are 3 partners at Wedevelop, and we are 3 people with 3 different families, 3 different set of problems, 3 different lives. So that's
3 different outlooks, 3 different ideas of how to do things. You could tell one person to bake a cake and they'd bake the cake, or tell them how to get from here to there, and they'd all take 3 different routes.
Yeah, people don't like
still get there.
So it's very complex. So you have to first believe in your partnership, believe in your partners. That's I think is the first point. And then you have to have a very well-defined structure for the partnership. Okay. I'm going to do sales, you are going to do marketing, you are going to do whatever. Okay. And then for decision-making processes or for decisions, this is the process. We are going to decide this way. Otherwise, it's more difficult. It may generate, some sort of chaos in the partnership.
So it's almost like having a business constitution, if you will, made up before of the rules and regulations of how the business is going to operate before even getting started and developing those as you go. It's something that Michael Gerber talks about in his book, The E-Myth Revisited, setting that all up, the duties of each position and the expectations of those positions and deciding who's going to do what. Beforehand, or if you've already started the company, still doing that and deciding who's going to be the CEO, who is going to be the final decision maker. Even if you're equal partners, 50-50, somebody has to be the boss. Who's going to do this, who's going to do that, how are decisions going to be made? And I find his book very fascinating. And yet I think a lot of people don't implement those kinds of structures into their businesses, at least I've worked for.
Right.
And they would be way more successful if they had. Yeah, they'd be way more successful if they had those things.
Yeah, I believe that even a 2-person partnership should have those rules. And also something that we do at Wedevelop and we believe is that we are 3 partners and we are 3 equal partners. But then in the daily basis, we are a CEO, a CFO, and a COO. And those are like entities. Yep. Those aren't partners. Those are CEOs, CFOs, and COO. And then if the CEO considers that some decision has to be, circled through the partner, executed by the partners, the CEO takes that decision to the partners. We discuss it, we vote, and whatever. Okay. But in the daily basis, we are in partners.
Yeah. So do you as the partners fulfill those roles? Because I'm a little confused right now. Sorry. Do you fulfill those roles? One of you has the CEO. Okay. You don't have separate people who are this. Okay. I understand.
Yeah. We are 3 partners. I am the CEO. And then one is the CFO and one is the COO.
Okay.
But that's in the daily,
daily execution of the business.
Correct. Daily execution.
Yeah. Right on. So, you've started a outsourcing development company.
Correct.
How did you see the need for that service in the marketplace? What was it that made you identify it?
So we actually started by doing web development.
Okay.
Outsourcing. So
sure.
It's very traditional. You need to create something. We do it for you. We code it for you. But we found that that wasn't the best case for many companies we work with, because those companies either had other teams working on the same project, or they wanted to manage the project in a different way than us. So we didn't start this business line from scratch. It wasn't like a
it evolved
like a formal. It evolved from web development. So we started with the team with no project manager, and that resulted very good. We started another team with no project manager, and here we are. So we basically offer companies that need development force. We offer them, developers or a team of developers, or a team of, not only developers, but designers, business analysts, or whatever the project needs.
Oh, okay. Right on. What are some of the biggest challenges you face when competing in your industry?
Challenges. So right now it's a very crowded market.
Okay.
It's very difficult for companies like ours, which are, new in the market, to stand out, to be noticed by potential customers. And to make that worse, there are companies that don't offer a very good service, but they do have a great marketing. So that's very bad for us, because they get to the contracts, but they do it wrong. And then companies that have, that experience, they don't want to engage with the staffing agencies anymore, because they have this.
They give us a bad name. It's kind of the same thing in the SEO marketing community. There's so many people out there who are so bad. They could slap up a website in an hour or two.
Right.
Buying a theme, saying that they're a marketing professional, and they're not. And it's
right.
It makes it harder for the rest of us.
It is. Yeah.
So how have you guys overcome some of those challenges?
We are okay with, a less noisy marketing, a less loud marketing. And we are, we engage with companies, and we really care about offering a very good service. So the way we overcome that noise is by getting a lot of referrals, basically.
Oh, okay.
So every company we work with, or we have worked with, they refer someone to us.
That's awesome.
Engaged, a few of those contracts for different reasons, but we have a very good reputation. So that's a way.
Awesome.
to overcome the very noisy market today.
Yeah, I know of a very large SEO company, gentleman that was on our show, and he's kind of an SEO prodigy, but most of his business comes from word of mouth because he spends very little on marketing outreach because he does such a kick butt job that people can't but help tell other people about him. And so it sounds like it's the same thing with you. You guys are so dedicated to what you do and providing such value and quality to the marketplace that people can't but help,
Yeah, the need is real.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I can say a number, but many companies in the world need some sort of development help.
Yeah.
And many companies can use staffing as a way of overcoming that need. So the need is real. So there is a huge market that needs staff augmentation services. And they are, like bombarded with messaging and companies that do the same as us. But if we do the same, it's very difficult for us to say, yeah, we are different. All the companies want to be different, So doing, a very good marketing on that scenario, it's challenging.
Yeah. I think it comes down to developing your unique selling proposition. It's something I learned from a marketer named Dan Kennedy. And one of the ways he talked about differentiating yourself was various different ways. Like, for instance, having certification. So, I can hear him now saying that, well, if every single one of your employees should be certified in whatever industry they're in or skill set they're in, having, industry qualifications. So like, for instance, in the marketing field, there's the OMCP certification, which, Home Depot and other companies won't hire someone unless they're an OMCA, online marketing certified associate, and even better to be, like the professor of the Montreal University, where I'm from in Canada, he's an OMCP certified marketing professional. And then having, taking a look at what your competition is doing and offering, like, for instance, maybe you guarantee your work, customer satisfaction. It's done to your satisfaction, or we keep doing it until you are happy.
Yeah.
And I had this one company that I saw, I thought was very smart. They offered a 2-year warranty on their websites. So they're like, we offer 2-year warranty on your websites, that your website will work for 2 years guaranteed. And to me, there's so many I've talked to business owners out there who they won't do it. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, so, I'm not a coder like you, but I build websites with Beaver Builder, and I don't do it for other people. I do it for myself. But I can, that would be so easy. I'm building websites on WordPress. I'm building websites with a theme builder. Like, how hard is that to guarantee that an update is, you go on your server and you make sure that when you do an update on the dev server or the staging server, that it doesn't break. And if it does, you just don't update. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So this is something a little bit different, but I'm just thinking out, trying to think of the context of differentiating how to differentiate a company. His thing was either offer a money back guarantee and double it. Like, we have if your competition has a 30-day money back guarantee, offer a 120-day money back guarantee.
Right.
Or if your competition has a 5-year warranty, like Mitsubishi did this, by the way. I don't know if you know this. They had the lifetime. I think they had a 10-year powertrain warranty, Mitsubishi. Now, what to say what you will about the cars they build, Mazda had a lifetime warranty on their engines because they were so confident in their quality of their product. They offered a lifetime warranty. But what I'm trying to say is, the two things people are scared about is getting ripped off and not getting quality work. So when you when you do things like that with satisfaction guarantees and certifications, give you authority and guarantees or warranties, give people assurance, takes away the risk.
Right.
So I don't know how to apply that to the software industry, but with what you
It's a
do, but I
little
was
bit,
just thinking, maybe there's a way.
it's a little bit complex
It
because,
is.
we work with people, with developers, and our job as a staffing agency is to build the right team for the right project.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to get a certification for it, but our way to say we really care about what we do and we really offer a very good service is by getting our customers saying that, so we have in our website a whole section, right, where our customers say what they think about our service, and we offer our potential customers to get in touch with our other customers. So we believe that that's a very good way to to someone that wants to engage with staffing agency to say, all right, this is worth the shot, and you can always start from a little engagement, one developer, two developers, and then grow from there. But I think for staffing agencies, the track record is very important. And we have a really good track record. So
that's
we
awesome.
let that track record to speak for us, basically.
That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, do you think there's a shortage of coders in the world? Software developers and coders?
There is.
There is, eh? Wow.
There is. But at the same time, there are many developers that, as we talked, ago, that they take, a 5 months course and they go to work and they get a job, job because of the shortages that the market has.
I see.
So it's very difficult to companies to find good developers in that scenario.
So you can waste a lot of money. So there's one of the benefits with working with someone like yourself is that you've already found the skilled labor. You don't have to risk your money looking for hiring someone who may or may not know what they're doing. You guys have already done that work for them.
Yeah. Actually, our vetting process, it's very sophisticated. We had to iterate it very many times, and to place one developer, we have to interview almost 60 developers.
Oh wow!
To place only one developer.
Wow!
So that's because we receive a lot of emails, a lot of CVs, and they finally aren't as good as they say. They do a very great marketing.
So you guys so that's the advantage you guys are providing the market is that you're actually vetting. You're doing all that vetting work for people, saving them time and thus saving them money by providing talented quality developers instead of the headache of wasting your time and money trying to find them on your own.
Yeah, one of the parts of our value proposition is that we deliver the top 3% of the talent. And that means that, basically to place 3 people, we have to interview 100. And that's the truth. It's very, very difficult to find good talent. And in our vetting process, developers are interviewed by developers. So it's a very complex process.
There you go.
People don't like the process very much because it has a few stages, interviews, technical challenges, but it results, the result is that we can confidently place a developer in a team, knowing that that developer is, fully capable of the things he has or she has to do. So
what can the people do who don't make the cut? Work on smaller projects? Take more training?
Yes.
Like the people that aren't in the top 3%, yet they still want to work and they still want to be successful, or they still want to grow. They want to actually do this for a living. How can they, apart from them not having the intellect to be able to do it, maybe like the physical limitations, how else can that aside, what can they do to get better, to be able to get hired by a company?
Yeah, I think it all comes up to experience and learning. So we have people applying to a job for a senior developer, and they have 2 years of experience.
That's not enough to be a senior developer.
It is not.
I even know that, and I'm not a coder. That's not enough. That's not even enough to be a senior web developer or senior SEO person, or
Right. Yeah, a senior.
A certain amount of hours, a certain amount of projects that you've worked on to be able to do that.
A variety of projects. It's not only the amount of years of experience you have, but also the quality of that experience. So it's time. It requires time, patience, a lot of dedication, a lot of reading.
And maybe working for less than what you think you should be paid for in order to, pay the cost of being able to become.
Absolutely. Yeah.
After
all, if you want to be a doctor, you have to go to school for, 10
years. 12.
Right.
Well, here where I'm from, it's 12. But anyway.
Yeah, it's, you have to dedicate those 12 years to really study a lot, read a lot, practice a lot. And then once you graduate from school, you don't go to, open range. You go to practices, and it's a long career. And, there are many differences between a doctor and a software engineer. But I'm trying to say that, it is not a simple career being a developer, and it requires time and dedication. So for those people that want to get a really good job at this, industry, buy books, read books, have different jobs.
Work on your own projects. Work on projects maybe for not as much money as, maybe working for less money than what you think you should be paid just to get the experience.
Yeah.
So outsourcing software development is becoming more and more popular, Abel. What are your thoughts on this trend?
So it's becoming really popular. But I believe that in the short term, I mean, maybe 5 years from now, people won't be coding as much as we are today. Really? I think people will be, because now
artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Wow.
Because the coding is actually becoming more repetitive. Every time you do something, there are a lot of chances that someone has already done that before. We are creating the same amount of code or the same lines of code once, again and again. So I believe that software development will switch to dynamics where people will be managing the process with their creativity. I think they will provide more creativity, more empathy for users of those products, but they won't be coding as much as we are today. Therefore, and related to what we were talking a few minutes before, there won't be this need of so many developers. I believe that the industry will need more intelligent and more sophisticated developers, but in less quantity.
Okay, interesting. That's awesome. That's very interesting. What's one big takeaway you want listeners to get from this episode?
I guess we talked a lot about learning and developing a career. So
that's important.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the things I can conclude, that no matter your career or the thing you want to do in your life, but you always you have to be always learning.
Never stop learning.
Yeah.
That's awesome advice.
Absolutely. Yeah, and for the company, for Wedevelop, we we have that in our DNA.
Your DNA.
And we are always
it's part of your company culture.
Yeah, and we try to outlearn the competition, and be always learning of different techniques, different ways to manage our processes, and I think that's one of the things that make us so attractive to talent and to clients, that we are not relaxed. We are always learning and always in movements.
Right on. Hey, how can our listeners connect with you online if they want to? For instance, are you on LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn, as Abel Osorio.
Okay.
And then I started to write, and so I'm on Medium. Yes.
Oh, you're on Medium. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I write about management, healthy habits, and productivity.
All right, on. Hey, I'll make sure to check that out. So we'll make sure to put that in the show notes so that people can connect with you that way. Hey, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure having you and talking to you. And just thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
Good on. You have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.